Good afternoon, Miguel.
Good afternoon.
Could we just start off with any clarity you can give us on Gabriel and how serious that injury is?
Yeah, Gabi unfortunately picked up an injury with the Brazilian national team, and he's going to be out for weeks.
Can you give us any more clarity?
No, we need to have another scan. I think it's next Wednesday, and we will have the timeline probably much more clear than we have at the moment.
It's clearly a blow, but have you ever felt more comfortable about the players that you can actually bring in and the options that you have when you have injuries like this?
Yeah, it's clearly a blow because it's our leader in our backline, and to me, obviously, it's never a positive thing. The good thing, as you mentioned, is that we have very good options, and people have to stand up now and do the job.
Riccardo Calafiori missed the Italy games. Is he okay?
Yeah, he missed it. He wasn't available. He's been carrying a few things, and we have to bring him back. And he hasn't trained yet. So tomorrow we have another training session and see how he is.
What chance the other injuries that you've had in Gyökeres, Martinelli, and the other longer-term ones in Jesus, Havertz, Madueke, and have I missed anyone there?
So, yeah, we put a lot of energy during the international break with all the medical staff as well to try to bring them as quick as possible. So tomorrow we have another training session, see how some of them are feeling, whether it's a bit too close to bring them in this game or we feel that they can have a contribution in the game. So tomorrow we'll have more clarity.
So there is a possibility some of them could be in the squad?
Yeah, well, I'm hopeful that we can make another step tomorrow, but certainly I cannot tell you.
And you can tell us the names of those?
No. I can, but I'm not going to do it.
I know we've spoken about the North London derby before, but I mean, you've managed the North London derby, you've played in some of the most ferocious derbies in world football. What makes this one so unique, so special for you?
It is different. I mean, it's a big city, but it's a big rivalry. It's a part of London that we want to conquer. They want to do the same. There's been a lot of shifts as well over the years as well. Who's been more dominant, and it's just beautiful, especially when we play at home in front of our people. We know what it means to them, and the energy that they're going to bring, the energy that the team is going to bring in every single action, and it's just a privilege to play those kind of games. So we cannot wait to get to Sunday.
You mentioned the fans, and it obviously means so much to them, to both sets of fans. But how big is a challenge is it to separate what their needs are and trying to focus on what is just a game that you want to win and you must win to get 3 points?
It's about bringing it into the table. That's the context of the game, and that's a superpower. You know, when you have everybody playing with that passion and with their emotion with the team every single ball, it makes a difference. And we've been very privileged the way that the fans have been with us at the Emirates, and especially against our rivals. And on Sunday, I'm sure that the team is going to behave and make them very proud.
You mentioned the recent record. It has been very good from your perspective. 5 wins and a draw in your last 6 North London derbies. Can you put your finger on why the record has been so good? Have you been able to separate the actual occasion with the actual game? Yeah,
it's a game that emotionally requires something else, and you cannot be too hype, but at the same time, that game demands that in every ball, in every action, you have to be at it a bit more than in any other game. And we have found a really good balance. Obviously, we played well. Some days we have decided to win. Some days we've been a bit lucky as well to win. That's fair as well to say. So on Sunday we need a really, really good performance to beat them.
I wonder, Mikel, if you've seen Wayne Rooney's comments about his 3 outstanding players of the season so far.
No.
Semenyo was one.
Good.
Brian Mbeumo was one.
Okay.
Victor Gyökeres was the 3rd one.
That one is very good.
I just following up on that, and he has come under a bit of criticism. Can you allow yourself a little smile like you're doing now?
Well, I'm really glad that this is coming from someone like Wayne, his experience and the kind of player that he was. I'm sure it then is not just related to the goals that he has scored, but the contribution to the team number 9 can do, and the impact that Victor has in our team, his work rate, and the way he opens the spaces for other people, the time that he generates for us, and then as well the level of threat that he's brought to the team, which is magnificent. So really happy to hear that.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks very much. We'll go to Jake from PLE.
Hi.
Hi.
How different a challenge, though, is Tottenham this season than they were last season, do you think?
Well, I think every game is very different, and in the same season as well, depending on the momentum of each team, the games are very, very different. I think Thomas has brought something very different to what they had before as well, and you just have to see his record and how remarkable job he did in his previous club, and he's given a very clear identity to the team, how they want to play, how they want to compete, and it will be very tough.
Some people have suggested that where they are in the Premier League table has maybe flattered them based on how they played. What are your thoughts on that?
I think when you start to be in the part of the season that we are, I think you have to really earn the right to be where you are, and I think they've done a lot of very, very good things that they deserve to win. They won in some tough places as well. The record away from home has been very impressive as well, so you need to merit that. Nobody gives you anything in this league.
Manchester City play tomorrow night, obviously ahead of you. If they win, they'll be 1 point behind you. Do you feel them kind of coming after you a bit?
No, everybody's going to try to win every game, the same as we are going to do. We just have to go game by game, control the things that we can do, prepare very well tomorrow. For Sunday we have a beautiful game ahead of us, and that's what we can control. And
just lastly, a big opportunity for whoever you decide to play in place of Gabriel.
Yes, for sure, and that's what we're looking for. And the good thing is that we have rotate and play players in different positions very, very early in the season, and whoever plays is going to be ready to do that.
Alex, BBC.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Start of a big week with Tottenham on Sunday, then into Bayern Munich, and then another London derby the following Sunday. How would you prepare and deal with these matches coming up, especially when you've got the injury issues you have at the moment?
Well, we've done the preparation and the international break. We knew that that was coming, was again very intense but beautiful as well. We have a very tough start of the season as well. We're ready for that, and now have everybody healthy, of the most of them healthy, which is a key thing obviously, and then again get in the rhythm, start to generate momentum again. We are in a really good moment, and we need to continue to do that game by game, because the games are going to be very, very thick and fast, and we need to be ready. Everybody has to be at it.
It's not just Arsenal that are suffering with injuries at the moment, Tottenham as well. I'm seeing it across football. A large part of both squads could be out if they don't come back for the match on Sunday. But do you think injuries are taking away from the quality of the game at the moment?
Well, injuries are part of football. Obviously, the demands that those players have in the way that the schedule is, obviously, is more demands than ever, and probably that's going to bring more injuries. We will try to avoid that as much as possible, but you can see that in many clubs, even in different countries as well. So we're going to have to live with that.
And then just on Gabriel Jesus, how is he getting on in his rehabilitation?
Very good. So he's doing everything with the team at the moment for the last almost 2 weeks. We're going to give him some exposure as well internally with some games, so he gets that fitness. But he looks really good in training, and he's going to be a big addition to the team.
Ian, top four.
Hi Mikel, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Eberechieze, it's going to be a big game for him on Sunday because he could have joined Spurs during the summer. What advice would you give him, because from some sections of the support, the away fans, they may not be overly happy to see him playing this game?
Nothing special, nothing different to any other player. I'm very happy that he is with us. I think Ebbs, over the years, he had many options to go to different places. At the end, he was allowed to leave, and he chose to come here, which I'm very, very happy and proud of. And it's going to be a game that I can't wait for him to experience, because it's very special.
You've spoken about the importance of the North London derby. You never lost one as a player, and you haven't lost one as a manager. What's the secret?
I don't know. Try to prepare as good as possible. Try to perform during the game, and try to be better than the opposition. That's what we try to do.
But it must come down to just more than that. I mean, for you to have this magnificent record.
No, but I have lost games against the Spurs as a manager.
Oh?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't think you had.
Okay.
Bukayo Saka, reports he's going to be offered a new contract. We were talking to him about a new contract. How important is it for you that he signs up, because he joined the club as a 9-year-old, could become a player who stays at one club for his career?
Well, what I'm very aware of is that he wants to continue with us, that he's very happy, that he's in the place that he wants to continue to be and achieve everything that we want to achieve together. And then when that happens and how it happens, I leave that to Andre and the club to figure out.
And lastly, this now is a period of 4 months before international break again. So largely this next period of 25, 30 odd games, whatever it is going to define your season. In terms of that, how delighted are you that it's now all going to be all guns blazing towards what could happen at the end of the season, and you've just got your players from now until March?
Well, we have a lot of work to do till that point. Again, go game by game, put the focus in the present, the things that we can do and we can control, try to improve every single day, try to be a better team. We'll have different periods, playing different kind of oppositions. We'll have different resources available as well in the team. Try to be as competitive as we win and win as many games as we can.
Simon, are you listening?
Mikel, can I just ask you about that sort of few days with the Eze deal, which from the outside seemed to move so quickly? What was it like for you experiencing it? And was there any point where you sort of feared he could go to Tottenham or you wouldn't get him in the building here?
Well, I don't know. At the end, there are three different parties. My feeling when I spoke to him that he wanted to join, then it's all about timing as well in football, which is something very difficult to predict and maybe doesn't work. What I'm very glad is that it did work. It worked in a great way. I'm very happy with what he's doing and still what he can do for the club and the team. And it's just the start of the journey.
We've sort of seen flashes of great moments from obviously the goal against Palace, things like that. But do you think there's still a lot more to come from him?
Yeah.
What more can we expect to see from him in Arsenal shirt?
A lot, because those relationships have to build, and creative players need to understand that, because it's all about as well connections, about timing, and him really flowing. And he's playing a different position. The more he's a bit settled in one of the positions and start to interact with players a bit more friendly, which he's doing at the moment. His natural talent will come out and he will have even a bigger impact in the team.
Cool. Tom, happy birthday.
Happy birthday! 22.
We saw that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was with you guys recently. How important is it to you to kind of reconnect with those players? The players played with you in the North London derby around this time, and what do they kind of bring when they do return to the club?
Well, it's great to have him around. Very proud to have him, because first of all he wanted to be back. So when that happens, he's a player that has been out, that he wants to come, is a really good sign. It means that he felt loved here, respected, and he believes it's the right environment for him to again start to build something new in his career. And we all know Alex, how a magnificent person he is. He can be a great example for the other players as well, with his experience, and even for me. So good to have him around.
He did an interview with Ben Foster as well, in which he talked about when Thierry Henry came back, that period, that second time he was at the club, and he said that he felt like they learned that Henry brought an edge that was kind of lacking from that team, and nastiness was the word that he used. Do you feel like your team now has nastiness, an edge to go on and win these games and titles?
Yes, I do feel that we have everything that it takes to win. Yeah.
Who are the nastiest players?
It's not about that. I don't know if that's the best word. It's at the end you need to have everything that requires to win, and then you have to deliver and do it. But I really believe in my team.
Thank you.
Okay, Art from Athletic.
Hi, Mikel. Just on Calafiori, is it to do with his loan? Because I think this season he's played very consistently. He's been available for every Premier League game. Compare that to last season. It's obviously a much kind of stronger fitness record. So is it more about managing him throughout these kind of moments?
Yeah, he's been dealing with a little issue, and he played. Then we as well rest him and take that load because of that. And when he got into the last game and had to try with the national team, they were very understanding of that issue, and that's when they allowed him to come back.
And with Martin Ødegaard, I was just wondering, before he got injured against West Ham, I think he was roaming around the pitch a little bit more than usual. So
that's a lot then.
Yeah, but at points he was very central, at points he was on the left. And I was just wondering, is that something you'd like to see again when he's back fit?
Yeah, we have new players, and new players create new connection, create new ways of of attacking especially, and we need to let that flourish, you know, and we are learning a lot from them, and where they feel comfortable, how they can do that in the most efficient way, and when he's back in the team, I'm sure that we'll be able to do all the things as well.
James, CBS.
Hi, Michael. Just specifically on the 6 players that were injured before the international break, when we spoke to you before Sunderland, you were quite optimistic on their recoveries. At the moment, are you more optimistic than them, same level, or less optimistic?
I am, but it's the final stage, and now is when there is contact around them, when they have to be pushed into very unpredictable things that they haven't done. And yeah, I think they're going to be with us soon. I don't know if Sunday is going to be too soon.
With replacing Gabriel, one of the great strengths you had was that pairing of Gabriel and Saliba and the consistency that offered to the team around them. Do you have to try and recreate that, or do you almost need to lean into the fact that one player can't replace Gabriel? There may need to be 2 or 3 stepping into that.
No, because every player brings a specific qualities, and Gavi's is his leadership, his presence, the love that he has to defend and to transmit as well his body language to other players, and we have to do it, and we have to spread that. People will step up. We've done it in the past many times. Unfortunately, we played last year the biggest and the most probably part of the season without him as well, and the team was able to cope with that.
Okay, last couple in the AS Live. We'll first go to Pablo from AS.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
This week, Quique Sánchez-Flores, ex-former Watford manager, he recognized in an interview that he was quite sad this summer when he saw Zubimendi leaving Real Sociedad to come to Arsenal because of the Spanish league losing its talent. But he also said that Arsenal men are really big step forward to fight for trophies because of Zubimendi's signing. He also, Zubimendi scored in this international break with Spain. How high do you rate him in the level of best midfielders in the world right now?
Well, for my players are the best. To compare them with other players, I don't think it's fair. I think each player has his own qualities. I think the impact of Subi in the team is unquestionable. I think what he's doing and doing it so early as well in his career here, it's very impressive. And that's what we need. A player at that level, playing at consistently and helping the team is going to be very positive for the team and the results of the team.
Do you see him being in the lineups of the Spain World Cup next summer?
That's for the manager to decide. Hopefully he will do so well here that he had a great chance and a big headache for the manager.
And Charles from Goal.
Hi, Mikel. Just on Ben White, there was maybe a little bit of a surprise before the international break that he didn't start any of those sort of the 3 games in a week, especially the one in Prague. Are you sort of still at the stage with Ben where it's really sort of carefully managing his minutes after the injury issues?
We had a period after now. I think it's in a much better period. Now we have to pick players in relation to the opponent and the game and the best combinations that we think. So he needs to continue to train very hard and wait for his opportunity because he's going to have it.
He's always been such a warrior for Arsenal, hasn't he, Ben? He's shown so much trust in him. Do you still have that sort of trust, not so much in him, but in his body, that he can handle the games that are going to come up? Because he's got such a big week again, 3 games in space.
Yeah, but now he needs to do it when he plays and prove that like any other player. So that's the test, that's the level. Duran has been incredible as well this season. We know the level of Ben and how incredible he can be for the team. So that's it. Everybody will have options.
Just very quickly, just on Kieran Tierney during international break, still so loved here by the fans. I mean, he had such a special moment with Scotland. What was your thoughts when you saw that goal? I'm sure you absolutely loved the moment he had.
Well, very happy for him and very happy for all the Scottish people as well, because I lived there for 2 years and I have an amazing experience and I fall in love with their passion and how they treat people. So I'm
Right, Jay Bothroyd, how confident should Arsenal be right now?
It's a derby first and foremost, which means obviously it's whoever turns up on the day. Obviously there's huge negative around Arsenal because Gabriel now is injured. He's going to be injured for, it could be a month.
We'll hear from Arteta at 1 o'clock, so hopefully we'll get an update on the time scale.
But that's a massive blow because he's great in both boxes. He's physical. He's got a great partnership with Saliba. But again, I think it will be just a tight game. Form goes out the window. And Tottenham have some players that can hurt Arsenal as well. I think Palhinha in there as well, that defensive rock, he's been fantastic. I feel like this is a game where probably Xavi Simons, he needs to, stand up now and start being more creative. I think he's played well in parts this season, but I feel like he could be the catalyst in opening defences up, especially, going forward in them wide areas.
Who should replace Gabriel? Because there are options.
Tough one, because
quite a lot of them.
Yeah, I probably would push Calafiori into the centre back and then play Luis Skelly.
Because they've got Nkapie, they've got Mosquera, Benjamin White.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of options there. There are options, and that's one thing that Arsenal do have. They have good depth in their back line, but I probably would put Calafiori left centre back, and then I'd put Miles Lewis Skelly in at left back.
Right, okay. Who's more important to Arsenal, Gabriel or Saliba?
It's a great question, to be honest. I always have this debate. I think Saliba overall is a better player, but I feel like Gabriel is more important to Arsenal. He's more effective in both boxes. I can imagine he would be an absolute nightmare to play against. He gets really tight, he don't let you turn, he's physical, he's strong, he's good in the air. He's that kind of defender, a bit like Rudiger, where he'll bother you when the ball's not even, when it's nowhere near you. So I actually think that Gabriel is probably more important for Arsenal's backline than Saliba, even though they're great.
On Wednesday on Sky Sports Fan Club, we had 10 fans of Premier League clubs in the studio, including an Arsenal fan. We had Jamie O'Hara there, and we had...
Jamie, yeah.
Did I say Jay O'Hara?
Jamie.
What did I say?
Yeah, you said Jamie, but I'm like, he's a Tottenham fan.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, well, this is still relevant, what I'm about to say, okay?
Okay.
And we had a flash poll. Everyone had a yes or no to answer. And the question was, will Arsenal win the league? So you got 10 fans and Jamie, so 11 people. Only one said yes, that Arsenal were going to win the league.
Was that the Arsenal fan?
It was the Arsenal fan. But only one. But that really surprised me. And I haven't really still got my head around it. That only one person out of 11 thought that Arsenal were going to win the league, and they're top.
No, exactly. I mean, it is surprising because Arsenal are in a commanding position right now, playing very well, difficult to break down, difficult to score against. So that is surprising. But Arsenal have been in similar scenarios during a season where they have been in the driving seat and gave the advantage away. But again, it's the beginning of a season, Tom. It's like 11 games gone. Can we really be talking about Arsenal going to win the league, Liverpool going to win it, Man City? It doesn't matter right now. I think what Pep Guardiola said was absolutely right. I mean, the league probably does start around now, but then you want your teams to be on form around March, April, where they're like absolutely hit the ground running, they're in form, they're scoring goals, they're not conceding.
Well,
that's when it really matters.
Not if it's too late by then, though.
Yeah, I mean, if it's too late, it's too late, right? But I feel like most seasons, you got to look at the league. January, February, you need to start getting on the form. But March, April, you need to be like in full stride.
Right. Well, Sky Sports are.
The future of Ethan Nwanery's potential loan move is suddenly uncertain, as Arsenal remain wary of repeating past setbacks caused by injuries. According to recent reports, the club is open to sending the young midfielder out on loan this winter, but the idea raises immediate questions. Nwanery has become the talk of the moment after a report from the Daily Mail suggested that Arsenal are considering a temporary move for the 18-year-old. Despite his limited minutes this season, the thought of letting him leave, even temporarily, comes with significant doubts. Back in October, Mikel Arteta publicly insisted that Nwanery would have plenty of opportunities to play, pointing to the fact that the teenager had already been called upon when Martin Odegaard was injured. "I don't know, but I don't work with expectations," Arteta said at the time. "I work with what the players can give in the context of where the team is at that moment." Ethan played 2 Premier League matches early on because Martin was out. He's played in other competitions and he'll play more. Yet the reality has been very different. Nwanery has logged fewer than 500 minutes this season, appearing in just 5 of Arsenal's 11 Premier League games, none of them as a starter. His only starts came in the 2 EFL Cup wins over Port Vale and Brighton, and in the 3-0 Champions League victory against Slavia Prague. The arrival of Ebereki Eze and the promotion of Max Daumann have tightened competition even further. And despite injuries to Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and Noni Madueke, Nwanery's pathway has only narrowed. It's easy to forget how young he still is. At 18, and having first debuted at just 15, like Daumann, These are formative years where consistent playing time is crucial. The busy festive period could open that door, but with Odegaard, Maduk and Kai Havertz all nearing their returns, there's a real chance Nwaneri could slide even further down the pecking order. This is why a January loan sounds logical on paper, but it also sets off alarm bells. Arsenal's season has already been shaped by injuries for the second year in a row, and squad depth has never felt more essential. A single setback among the attacking players over the holiday fixture run could thrust Nwaneri back into an important role almost overnight. The more sensible approach may be to reassess in the summer, once the squad naturally reshapes and the club have a clearer picture of their needs heading into 2025. Only then would a loan feel more secure, ensuring Nwaneri actually gets the minutes he needs rather than risking another stalled development. Even then, nothing is guaranteed. Supporters will remember Serge Gnabry's loan to West Brom, intended to push him closer to first-team football, but ultimately a move that derailed his progress before he rebuilt his career in Germany. Arsenal's recent history with loans has been mixed at best, and too often unsuccessful. For now, the club must weigh the immediate needs of the squad against the long-term growth of one of their brightest prospects. Whether a loan becomes the right option, or another cautionary tale, remains to be seen. But the complexity of Nwaneri's situation extends beyond simply playing time and squad depth. Inside the club, there is an ongoing debate about how quickly young talents should be exposed to the pressures of elite-level football. Some staff members argue that Nwaneri's technical level is already above many players his age and that keeping him close to Arteta's structure will accelerate his development. Others believe that without consistent starts, and without a clear pathway to earn them, his progress could plateau. The uncertainty has also stirred conversation among supporters and pundits. Several former Arsenal players have expressed concern that the club may be repeating old patterns, where promising youngsters become trapped between first-team aspirations and inconsistent minutes. Others, however, believe the club is being careful for the right reasons, protecting a player who still needs physical development before facing the demands of weekly Premier League battles. This internal and external pressure has placed added scrutiny on Arteta's handling of young talents this season. While he has been praised for trusting academy graduates in the past, the balance has become harder to maintain now that Arsenal are competing on multiple fronts and aiming for silverware. Every decision carries weight. Resting senior players risks losing points, while overusing inexperienced teenagers risks injury or decline in confidence. There is also the broader question of what kind of loan would actually benefit Nwaneri, should the club eventually decide to pursue one. A move to a Premier League side fighting relegation could offer minutes, but expose him to a demanding environment that prioritizes survival over development. A championship loan, on the other hand, might provide consistent matches, but at the cost of adjusting to a more physical style that does not always align with Arsenal's tactical identity. European options have been mentioned as well, though not confirmed. The possibility of joining a club in the Netherlands or Germany, leagues known for nurturing young talent, has been discussed quietly among observers. Yet Arsenal are hesitant, given how unpredictable such moves can be and how often they fail to produce the expected results. Meanwhile, Nwaneri himself remains focused and professional, according to those around the training ground. He is said to be eager for opportunities, but not frustrated or discouraged. The coaching staff admire his attitude, which only complicates the decision further. He is doing everything right, and still his future remains uncertain. As Arsenal approach the January window, the club finds itself at a crossroads. The next few weeks will likely be decisive, not just for Nwaneri's short-term career, but for how Arsenal choose to manage their most gifted prospects in an era of high expectations and relentless schedules. Any decision made now will be examined closely, not only because of what it means for Nwaneri, but because it will signal how the club intends to balance ambition with development as they move into the next phase of Arteta's project. Arsenal now face a difficult setback. Piero Hincapié may have to step into the North London derby under less than ideal circumstances after Gabriel's injury blow. The club is hoping that Hincapié's long late return trip to North London won't affect his readiness to replace Gabriel against Tottenham, because losing the Brazilian for such a crucial match is a major hit to Mikel Arteta's plans. Arsenal have already been forced to cope with key absences at various stages of the season, but Gabriel missing the derby presents a challenge of a very different magnitude. Naturally, the focus shifts to who will fill the gap on the left side of Arsenal's defense, and for many, the most logical answer is Piero Hincapié. The summer signing impressed during his only start for the club so far, an outstanding display at left centre-back in the League Cup win over Brighton. That night, he partnered with Christian Mosquera, who is also an option for Arteta on Sunday. One possible configuration would see William Saliba move to the left, with Mascara taking his place on the right, depending on how heavily Hincapie's international travel weighs on Arteta's decision. And that travel is far from insignificant. The Ecuadorian defender is currently away with his national team. He captained Ecuador during their 0-0 draw with Canada, helping secure the clean sheet. But the real concern comes with his final international fixture. Ecuador face New Zealand in New Jersey in the early hours of Wednesday morning, UK time. The match kicks off at 1:30 a.m. and is expected to finish around 4 a.m. Only after that will Hincapie board his flight back to England, meaning he won't arrive in London until Wednesday afternoon at the earliest. From there, he will have just a handful of days to recover, settle back in, and prepare for one of the most intense fixtures of the season. The slight silver lining is that the derby falls late in the weekend, giving him as much time as possible to reintegrate. Still, the timing of his return is far from ideal and adds yet another layer of uncertainty to Arsenal's defensive preparations ahead of a match that could define their momentum for weeks to come. Beyond the logistical headache, Arteta and his staff must also consider the physical and tactical demands that a North London derby imposes. It is not the sort of match where a defender can arrive underprepared, particularly against a Tottenham side that has looked sharp in attack this season. Any hesitation, any lapse in intensity caused by travel fatigue, could be costly. Inside Arsenal, there is a quiet concern that the club may once again be walking a tightrope with its defensive depth. Over the past 2 seasons, injuries at the back have forced Arteta into uncomfortable choices, and Gabriel's setback reopens a conversation that the club hoped was behind them. The manager has repeatedly emphasized the importance of continuity across the defensive line, especially given how central the high defensive line and controlled build-up are to Arsenal's identity. Gabriel and Saliba have been at the core of that stability, and disrupting it inevitably changes the team's rhythm. Analysts close to the club have noted that Hincapie's profile fits the role well, confident under pressure, quick across the ground, and capable of progressing the ball with either foot. However, they also caution that he is still adapting to the Premier League's pace and physicality. Throwing him straight into a derby environment may accelerate his integration, but it also carries risk. Supporters have expressed mixed reactions as well. Many are eager to see Hincapie given a real opportunity, believing his style suits Arsenal's long-term plans. Others worry that asking him to deliver immediately, under difficult circumstances, could place unnecessary pressure on a player still in the early stages of adjusting to English football. The timing of Gabriel's injury also complicates Arsenal's broader goals. With a congested winter schedule approaching and the title race tightening, every match takes on heightened importance. Dropping points against Tottenham could shift momentum, not just in the standings but in confidence across the squad. It also forces Arteta to rethink how he manages minutes for defenders who have already logged heavy workloads this season. Club insiders say the staff have been preparing contingency plans for weeks, anticipating scenarios where international duties and injuries overlap. Yet even the best planning can be stretched thin when travel delays and late-night kickoffs are added to the equation. In the coming days, the medical and performance teams will conduct assessments to determine exactly how ready Hincapie is for Sunday's showdown. Arteta is expected to make a late decision, balancing long-term health with short-term necessity. The hope is that the Ecuadorian arrives in good condition, responds well to training, and can at least offer a reliable solution in Gabriel's absence. What remains undeniable is that Arsenal enter the derby under a new layer of pressure, forced to adapt, to trust their depth, and to test the resilience that has been a defining theme of their season so far.